Why is customer retention such a big pain? Why is it so hard? See, customers spend all this time, energy, evaluating, looking at options, looking at various products to finally arrive and invest in your platform. They purchase your technology and now they don't want to use it? Hold on. Something must not be right here, right? I'm sure you find yourself asking these questions more than often. And this is exactly what I want to analyze today. So why is customer retention so hard? And by the way, I'm going to talk about a few reasons, and the most important one, the one that I'm mentioning towards the end of this video. So, hold on for that one. Fundamentally, let's remind ourselves that customers, to start with, is never looking to buy any product. Nobody wants to log into one more platform, right? We all know that. You don't want to, I don't want to either. So neither are our customers. See, they're always trying to solve the problem that they are facing, the challenges that they are facing. And yes, your technology happens to be the one which was hitting that challenge and helping them solve that problem that they were facing. So what went wrong? See, the world that we live in is not static. It's dynamic. Yours is, mine is, and so is our customers. So fundamentally, they believed that there's a problem they want to solve, and all of a sudden, they don't want the product. Maybe the problem has changed. Maybe they don't want to solve that problem anymore. Maybe that problem has gone away. Yes, in fact, you might find it surprising that some of the SaaS products, which are still selling as SaaS, may be solving a one-time problem. And hence, there is a natural churn that occurs there. You know what I'm talking about, more about that on something else at some other time. But maybe the problem's changed, or maybe the original problem simply does not exist. That means your product's not relevant anymore. Maybe the problem is still there, but the approach with which they are solving has changed. So for example, you were provided a guided approach to solving something, providing some sort of a management platform, and now they've moved to an automated approach. And maybe you were providing an automated approach, and now they've moved to an artificial intelligence-driven automated approach. Bits and pieces of that you'll sort of see in CustomerSuccessBox itself. That aside, another key thing that you need to know is that the customer is continuously going through an education. That means they're getting mature in how they're solving that problem. They're getting mature in understanding their own world better. That means their expectation from your technology, from your solutions, are constantly changing and evolving. A lot of that education is interestingly provided by you, the customer success leaders and managers. Interestingly enough, while on one hand, the customer's expectations are changing and hence now all of a sudden your product might not be fitting that requirement, but many a times your product itself has matured and changed for good according to you. But while that might be good for X percentage, let's hope 80% of your customers, but for 20% of your customers, it might be taking the wrong direction, basis what their challenges, their environment, what their ecosystem is. And hence, for those 20%, you might not be relevant enough because your product has gone through a bunch of changes over the period. And hence, again, the problem-solution mismatch. You see my point, right? But here we were still talking about the customer who has the problem, the solution, which is you, your technology company. There's one more factor. And that factor is competitors, the market, the industry. We were never too alone. The customer always had the choice of other players in the industry. That means there are competitors, your competitors, which are now probably more favorable, more aligned, more price, better cost effective for your customer. And hence, it might make a good enough, compelling business case for them to switch. See, people generally don't switch because of a tiny price difference or one feature. It is usually a lot bigger than just that. So analyze it by not just looking at they've got one feature more or 5 features more, or what they did in the last 3 months. It is going to be a lot more deeper. But that, yes, of course, is a factor. Then there are other factors which are completely out of your control. The customer, which was still a generic word, and if you're selling to another business, business is never buying. While we are selling to business, but the buyer is always an individual. The champion, the buyer, the sponsor might have changed. The business itself might have gone through mergers and acquisitions, and now it might be an altogether different entity, different policies, and whatnot. And hence, the world is a lot more complex now, right? And those are things, frankly, which are out of your control. But see how you want to navigate them. And we'll talk about that. Let me now talk about the most important reason. Why is customer retention so hard now, in this era, in this day? Because we, as technology providers versus customer as buyers, Customers have a leverage over technology providers, over the vendors. Why? Because they are not buying your product. That means they're not committing your technology to start with. They're merely subscribing to it. That means a customer can fire a technology provider, a vendor, anytime they feel that they're not getting served right, they're not getting enough value, that there are better alternatives outside, or some of the other problems that we just discussed have changed. So, gentlemen, ladies, welcome to the world of subscription economy. We don't live in an ownership economy anymore. So customer is not a customer to start with. Don't get fooled. They're not a customer. They're a subscriber. That means we have to continuously deliver value to them. Every month, every quarter, year on year. The day they stop getting the value, that's the day they decide to move on. I hope this was helpful. But does customer success, customer retention has to be so hard? Let's continue to talk about that in the upcoming videos. Cheers.